Hi guys, and welcome to another writing sprints. I kind of feel like I'm old, so I don't know if you guys remember Romper Room or any of those kinds of shows, but I sort of feel like that teacher at the beginning of Romper Room, where she would get out the mirror and say all the kids' names. Anyways, I am definitely dating myself. Anybody that's under 50 in this watching this will know that that's not something they've seen. Anyways, if you're watching these sprints for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm very excited because these are quick, easy, short sprints. I know that some other channels do like really long sprints, but I like the short ones because you can fit that in with your life. And if you're not able to make it live, then just take this and replay it whenever you do have time to write, and just use the encouragement of having other people around you and the music and the fact that we've just got a 10-minute timer as a way to get your writing done, because that's the whole goal, is to write without thinking about it. There are other times when you're going to write and be thinking through everything and thinking about the plot, but these sprints are designed to help you break through a block or break through being stuck, or just kind of get some words on the page, especially if you haven't written in a little while. So I'm very excited to see you all here and to start today. Romper. See, Miss Dougal-Dog remembers Romper Room. I appreciate that. She never said Shirley, I must say, in all of the years that I watched her. Never, ever said Shirley. This is not really a common name. And back when I was a little girl, it was really a name for very old ladies that were shopping in the sewing store where I lived. So somebody would call out Shirley, and it would be some 85-year-old woman turning around to say, "Who, me?" And I'm here like 7 or 10. Anyways, so how this works is that we're going to do 3 10-minute sprints. I'm going to play some music during it, and I'm trying some new music today. We'll see how that works out. We all know technology and my live streams, not been a good mix for me so far. But I'm going to try using some new music so you guys have a little bit of a variety. I found this really chill kind of mix that was on YouTube that is copyright free. So we'll see how that goes. And write for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll answer any questions you might have in between, kind of cheer each other up. And as I promised, some virtual cake today, and I'll make any announcements about what we're doing at Writing Compelling Fiction that you should know about. And then we'll get right back into writing again. So it all works out pretty good that way. So the first one, I'm going to get the music ready, which I have to do. Remember, I learned how to do present last week. I was very excited about that. And so we're going to try this music mix, and we're going to go for 10 minutes. So just write, don't worry about it. Okay, there we go. Hi guys. We're back from the 10 minutes and I'm not sure I like that new music. I might go back to what I had before because it seemed a little too busy to me. It seemed better when I was actually online earlier today and listening to it. It was a little too busy for my brain for the writing, so I might go back to the very boring, dorky kind of StreamYard music because at least for me, I don't know about for you guys, but at least for me, it really doesn't get into my brain and affect how I'm writing. So, welcome Maggie and Halima. I hope I said that right. I'm very excited to see you all here for the writing sprints. So, I wanted to tell you, oh, my music keeps shorting out and my voice too. I don't know, Maggie, I don't know. That's above my pay grade. I have no idea if things are not working right on the audio side. I'm just happy that I remembered to turn on the audio this time. I'm not sure. I think everything's connected as it should be. But we're also about to get a storm here because I live in Florida. And so we get a storm like literally every afternoon. So it could be that. Or I could have a wrong setting somewhere. Also very possible. Anyways, so I wanted to announce that we're going to do an in-person writing compelling fiction event in Indiana because I'm going to be up there at the end of September. I don't know if any of you live in Indiana. I know that there are some people that do that have come to this stream before, but we're going to do an in-person event. So look for an announcement on that on our Writing Compelling Fiction Circles page. And if you haven't already been there, I think I can do the whole share thing with it. Oh, it's on a different page. We have a whole community for writing compelling fiction that is on Circle, and you are invited to come and do that for free. And we have some handouts. We're going to have all kinds of classes on there eventually. We're just starting it all up. So I've got stuff that is being loaded every single solitary day because you just never know. My assistant is doing it. I was going to show you guys, but this is beyond me to try to sign into that and also do this. And we have some upcoming videos that I wanted to talk about as well, and the book club book that we're doing on writing compelling fiction. But I'll get to all that in another break. Right now, I just want to go for another 10 minutes, and hopefully you guys got some good words out of your first session. I only got 268 because I was busy with answering some texts and some other things that are distractions that I don't really need right now. But when we come back, we'll talk about some of the other things that are going on with writing compelling fiction so you know what to look out for. And we'll go back to the familiar StreamYard music. So 10 minutes and go for it. Okay, so I didn't unmute. Well, we're not surprised, right? Anybody who has done these sprints with me knows that the audio is probably my biggest drawback. But at least you didn't get to hear my alarm going off because I forgot to shut that off after the 10 minutes. So, Emma, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. I hope lots of people accidentally subscribe. That would be great. Um, and I hope everybody got their words done. I did about 300 words, which was pretty good considering that I was working a little bit at the very beginning because I had a couple things to answer. Like most of you, I do work a day job, quote unquote. Yes, it's writing, but it's the nonfiction writing that I do for my clients. So my fiction still kind of happens in my spare time as whatever that really is, because that's weekends and nights or early mornings. Because the company that I own is busy enough that I don't necessarily have time to write fiction during the day unless I get very lucky. So I have some questions. I'm very excited about that. So Linda's question is how to open a nonfiction book. Now I wrote I did a video on 7 first chapter mistakes that you can make, and I'll share the link inside of the chat here, because that particular mistake applies to all kinds of books. It applies to nonfiction and to fiction, because you don't want to start with stuff that drags. So when you're starting a nonfiction book, Linda, you want that to also have that same level of intensity and feel like you're vibrantly there. I like that you're going to write about the theater and all of that. I'd like to have you be right there in the middle of the theater with things happening. A nonfiction book, just like a fiction novel, has a theme that you're trying to prove from beginning to end. It's a transformative book about whatever you happen to learn. Even if it's a memoir, there's some kind of overarching theme. So everything that you write has to feed into that. So you don't want to waste any words or have any scenes that don't fit that particular theme that you're trying to prove. Because as much as people might want to read a memoir about being in the theater, there's only so much that they're going to want to read before they're like, okay, so what's the message here? So you want to do that just as you would do that with fiction. And then, hey, Wendy, nice to see you. You missed my announcement, Wendy, where we're going to have an in-person writing compelling fiction event in Indiana when I come up September 26th. So I will post some more information about that on the Writing Compelling Fiction Circles community, which, oh, I did figure out how to do that. And I'll come back and answer Maggie's question after that. So Circles, we have, it's right here. The Circle community is free. I'm going to give you guys a link. And we have some handouts and things like that in there. We also have a book club, but I can't figure out where it is right now. So we have a book club where we are talking about Dennis Lehane's Small Mercies, which is what I am reading. And I have a signed first edition, and I hope everybody's jealous because he's my favorite author. I really, really love him. It's set in the 70s in Boston during the busing crisis, and it's a really, really good book. As you can see by all of the little stickers, these are all the lines that I think are amazing that I'm going to be sharing in the book club section of the Circle community. So I encourage you to check that out. You can join for free and access a lot of it. Subscribers and masterminds get access to more, but the regular public gets just a ton of resources to begin with. And we're going to be doing, as I've said, classes and other things there. So, hey, Miss Dougal Dog. So originally a Hoosier from Indiana, but now lives in Tennessee. We're in Indiana, Fort Wayne. So it's a little bit of a hike for you from Tennessee. It's my daughter's birthday, so I'm going up there, and I thought I would make it a 2-for-1 with an in-person event. I do some in-person stuff here in Florida where I'm at, and I'd also like to do some stuff when I travel. So Maggie wants to ask about layering. Do you write dialogue first, then come back in to do more show, not tell, inner conflict, etc.? Exactly. That is exactly how I do it. I tend to be a very dialogue driven writer. So I write a lot of the dialogue first and then go back in and start remembering to put these people into a place and to dress them and all of that, but also to take the setting that I'm creating and use it as a way to draw out the discussion, make it more emotional, and have more impact in it, add to the tension. Like what I'm working on right now is a suspense novel, a supernatural suspense. And that's the book that I'm doing on some Fridays, not every Friday because I've been super busy, but it's the book that I'm working on during the sprints. And so I have to remember to add multiple layers in here because it's supernatural and suspense. And so I'm going back in and adding some of the supernatural, adding some of the suspense elements, and starting with the dialogue and then showing, not telling, and everything after that. So yeah, it's like making a chili. I think I have a video on my YouTube about that, about how I just kind of start with those basic ingredients and then keep adding and adding and adding until my gut tells me that this is done. And sometimes I think that I know that it's done for now, but that it can be better. And I need to go back in and tweak it and make it better. Just like what I'm writing here in the writing sprints is not perfect. Definitely not. There's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to have to go back in and fill in and make better. So how much dialogue do you go for, Maggie? So you got to think of a book with white space. So this is my Dennis Lehane, right? If you look at the white space in there, that makes it readable for the reader. You know, I know that I think it's Kathleen Ramsey who writes the Corner books, and I love her, but she's very narrative heavy. And so there's a lot of times that I would pick up one of her books and I'd be like, it's a lot of words. It's 11 o'clock at night. I can't read that. So I look at how much white space there is and how fast I want the book to move along. So if you have a very active book, or you're going for comedy or something that is fast paced, you want to be more dialogue, less narrative. If you're trying to slow it down for a nice emotional scene or something where a secret's being revealed or something like that, then you can have more narrative and less dialogue. But you always, always, always want to act out the dialogue. I have a video about how to do dialogue well, and which I don't know if I can share with you guys because I got to go find it. But it's called my four-part dialogue test, and it's all about how to know whether you've got too much or too little and whether it's working. And that test will give you sort of like a blueprint for whether you're using your dialogue well or you're not. And I don't see it here, but it's definitely on my YouTube channel. And I encourage you guys to look for that because it really tells you how to sort of know where your dialogue works and where it doesn't work and how to make it work even better. And, you know, can't even find my own video, so good luck with that. But no, there really is one on there about the 4-part dialogue test. It's a little hard to talk and write and read comments at the same time. So I will find that when we do our last sprint here. And like I said, I want to mention the book club and the Circle community and the Indiana in-person event. And we're going to do one more sprint, and then I'll come back and I will share that dialogue video with you guys. So in a little bit, see you in 10 minutes. Okay, there we go. I remember to unmute. Um, so I did share the dialogue, four-part dialogue test video in the chat there. And I did promise some cake, and I did find a video of cakes that looked really, really good, that I thought I'd just throw up there just so we could see them. I don't know about you guys, but I make cakes when I'm in my spare time because I really, really like to bake. So I've got a little bit of cake decorating here for things to watch. 573 words, Maggie. Excellent job. I know, right? Like I asked a poll on my YouTube channel about cake or pie, and there were actually some pie lovers there. I have nothing against pie, but if I had to choose between the two, it is always going to be cake, hands down. And I really, really love cake. So the next ones are going to be Monday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to do the same thing, couple more sprints. I can't always do those particular times every week. So I am going to try in September to set a regular schedule for this so you guys can depend upon it. We just sort of threw these in here this month as part of what I was doing and when I was on deadline. I finished that book and then the writing sprints were popular, so I kept bringing them back. But now I've got to sort of sit down, look at my calendar, and figure out in September how I can do these always at a regular time. And if anybody has a particular time that they really love that they want to do, I know that we started with 4 o'clock because Half a Mo is in the UK, and so that worked out well for their time frame there. 4 o'clock works out okay with me because then I can stop and eat dinner, and people who know me in person know that that's what I want to do is go eat. So if you have any feedback, feel free to DM me or comment on the channel or whatever works for you. And I appreciate you all being here. And if you're watching this on the replay, we're going to have a lot more of these. So keep coming back, and I will see you guys soon.